Repair and maintenance. We know these are the secrets to longevity, value, and waste reduction, and therefore key to a sustainable and circular economy. REMA TIP dominates the sector with 10,000 employees, 8,000 of whom are service technicians, and sales of over €1 billion around the world. I sat down at COP28 with Executive Director Michael Labbe to talk about extending the life of our industries, our machines, and our planet. Michael, good to see you. Thanks for joining us. First of all, we all think we know a few REMA tip-top products, but you've got a lot of things that we use every day. Tell us a bit about the company, what it does, where it operates.
Okay, certainly. REMA TIP is a truly global company. We are represented in 180 countries around the world. We have nearly 20 manufacturing sites around the world, and over 8,000 service technicians give us basically feet on the ground to supply local service. From straightforward bicycle tire repair to complex industrial conveying solution and chemical processes. We service products as well as complete service concepts. And just one example, if you ride a bicycle, you probably run across this little green box. Basically, a bicycle kit. So we already teach our kids, if you have a little damage in your tube, instead of throwing it away, just fix it. Or the next one, you're going to the recycle plant on the weekend, bring down your yard material, and you get a nail in your passenger car. Most people would go and just throw it away, buy new tires. So with this simple plug here, we can give you a permanent repair for the tire that even on the German highways, you can go 200, 220 kilometers and you have a safe tires.
So, I mean, some of that's material that's been recycled, some of it's material for fixing other things.
Yes, exactly.
But that's your version of sustainability, isn't it?
This is our version of sustainability. And if we look a little bit closer, this year, REMA TIP got 100 years old. So we already used basically sustainability long before it really became into everybody's mouth and everybody had to use the word sustainability. And if you look close at REMA TIP, you might wonder what REMA means. REMA stands for repair material. And this is what we have here, repair material.
But I know that on a small scale, you have that for everyday use in someone's house. But there are much larger and more industrial uses of the materials that you have in terms of repair and maintenance.
Yes, there we are going into the industry segments we service, like mineral extraction, like mining, coal mining, copper mining, iron ore mining, then water treatment, desalination, or now the new power generation techniques that come up, like hydrogen, where we do the inside coating and rubber lining of the vessels to, number one, protect them from acid and corrosion attack, but also to give it a barrier to have a sustainable equipment and ensure, for example, on road or railroad, safe transportation of hazardous chemicals.
I mean, one thing that strikes me, particularly in the industrial sector, is that if a company wants to get involved in the circular economy, part of that is just making everything last longer, making their equipment last longer.
Okay, there we have a couple of approaches. The number one is, of course, makes equipment last longer. So we utilize modern inspection and monitoring techniques from X-ray to magnetic and to ultrasonic scanning. So basically, when you go to the doctor and you get your health checkup, you have an X-ray. We do the same with industrial assets. We look inside, like if you imagine a tank or a thickener in a nickel mine, it's 100-meter diameter, 6 meters high. full with slurry. So there we have to use X-ray, we have to use drones to see what's happening inside. It's the same on conveyor belt. You just see the black rubber, but you can't see inside. So there we have to use modern technologies that we also can predict what damages do we have, and that we can advise the client that he basically, before the major failure, shuts down his conveyor belt and gives us time for maintenance. And then we even take it a step further. For example, truck tires. Truck tires can be retreaded. So we basically take an old tire, buff off the remaining tread, and build up a new tread. Then on a conveyor belt, there's the same. A conveyor belt has probably 3 or 4 years service. We can refurbish it by taking the top cover up and build up a new rubber layer so it has a second service life.
So how much kind of life extension can you give to people's industrial equipment?
This varies, but actually we have an excellent case study that was happening here over the last 3 years. We have had a conveyor system operating in a coal mine in Indonesia. It was commissioned in 1983, the belt and the system. In 2016, this system was decommissioned. It was completely disassembled, transported over here to the UAE, and it was fully refurbished, brought up to today's technologies, and put back into service, and is now running in a major mining operation here in the UAE, transporting material. So there we have over 40 years, and it's still going. So there is basically no limit to it.
So from your part, a lot of this must involve quite a bit of research and development, staying ahead of the game with new materials and new possibilities.
Yes, with 20 manufacturing sites, of course, we have to spend a lot of time and money on our R&D. 2 reasons. We have to stay ahead of our industry. We have to stay ahead of the material, about what happens. Like a couple of years, we had all the changes due to REACH, like to come basically to more sustainable, or the use of more sustainable and environmental friendly materials, chemicals. This, of course, also has forced us to change our compounds. So one compound we are very, very proud of at the moment is that we are changing all of our rubber compounds and adhesives to lead-free compounds. Like in the past, over years, also one of the big components were lead to increase the adhesion from the rubber to the steel. So there we have been able to eliminate basically the lead in our compounds and adhesive. Then the next step is we voluntarily have implemented ISO 14001 in our major manufacturing and service facilities, and are in the process of rolling this out in all of our operations around the world.
Okay, so what about this gathering that we're at here, COP28, all sorts of discussions, particularly about sustainability. What sort of conversations do you think REMA TIP could get involved in at a place like this?
Okay, what we want to do here is, like we all know, that we have to rely on fossil fuel in some countries, with the trend towards electric automobiles. We require batteries, so we need the rare earths. So the mining will have to continue. And there, with our technologies, we can ensure that the material is operating longer. Some of the material, as the case we talked about with a 40-year-old conveyor system, we can refurbish and relocate. So We want to talk to partners here in the main industries like mining industry, power generation, hydrogen, especially desalination and water processing, because here all the water, the fresh water, is not like in Europe. It comes from the mountains and from the lake. Here we have to take it out of the ocean. So we want to make these companies aware that there are technologies that we can protect the equipment, that we can protect the environment to make their equipment safer to operate.
I mean, that's your speciality, really, isn't it? It's supporting other people's operations to make them more functional, to work in a more economical and sustainable way. People are talking here about waste disposal, about the circular economy, energy production. I mean, do you think there's scope for you for more collaboration and more partnerships with the sort of delegates that are appearing here?
Definitely with the companies, and especially what we have seen here in the energy sector. There we have some of the large EPCMs or engineering companies like Baker Hughes or Schlumberger have been here, and these companies obviously they're also looking for ways. They're coming out with new equipment, but all this equipment what is installed. Even the newest technologies, they have to be maintained. And maintenance and keeping these plants in operation, this is our job. This is our core competence. And yes, so talking to these companies and showing them that we are also looking at the sustainable aspect and that we can give them system that maybe makes even their factory or their equipment more sustainable, last longer, have less emissions, that we even can make a power plant very emission free or very or more friendly to sustainable.
You have a lot of contact with a lot of different companies and organizations around the world because of what you do. Do you sense we are in a period of change now where things are going to move forward in a different way?
I think sustainability is not only a slogan word anymore. Actually, companies, governments are looking to make some changes. It probably will not go as fast as it may be presented in the news or in the newspaper, but the companies are working towards. Like, for example, we have the closed circle in the mining operation that they are not just letting the water seek in the ground. No, they're closing the complete circle, clean it, and reuse it. The same as with the water treatment. There is a lot of water treatment and sewage treatment that the water can be reused. So yes, I believe strongly in there that the companies are investing a lot and that the clients expect that we give them maintenance and service solutions that make their operation more sustainable and more environmental friendly.
Michael, thanks very much. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Andrew. It was a good meeting.